Guys, I'd like to introduce Elisha Chowtapalli
Yes, you're
to our
right.
group today. He's all the way from India, where he has a ministry called Light Home
Yep.
Ministries.
Yes.
And he's also got a presentation, a video presentation. So let's welcome Elisha.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be with you this afternoon and to share what God is doing in India among the Dalit people, the untouchable people of India. And I'm here to tell you a story. Though I'm part of that story, but it is not about me. It is about the one who created me, who called me, who gave me the mission and the vision to do his work in India. So I want to share about his story. But before I share, I would like to request you one thing. Please do not listen to me, but listen to God, what He is going to speak to you this afternoon. My name is Elisha. I'm from India, and I was born and brought up into a very poor Dalit Christian family. My parents were daily wage quarry workers. They used to work in the gravel mines for $1 per day. We are 4 children to our parents. It was very hard for them to look after 4 children with $1 per day. And we went through very hard times, and there were times that we didn't have money to buy the food, and sometimes my mother had to go to the neighboring houses to get some food for our family, for the children. So it was very tough. Because of the poverty, my father put me and my brother and my sister in a government-run hostel. It's like an orphanage run by the government for the poor people, poor children. So I was there for 4 years. All my brother and sister also were there. But they couldn't stay long, so they quit, and I was able to continue that. And the food was very bad in the children's home, in that hostel. We could see the dead insects in the food when we were eating. It was very tough. At the age of 13, I started working in the quarries along with my father to get some money, because I'm the eldest in the family. So I wanted to help my family to get some money, and also I wanted to be educated. I had a great desire to be educated. None in my family ever went to the school. I'm the first one who ever went to the school. And so I had a great desire to be educated like all the children who are going to the school. So I did a lot of odd jobs to support myself, to support my family, and by doing that I was able to finish my university degree. And I said I was born into a Dalit caste. I don't know how many of you know about the Dalits, the untouchables of India, the caste system in India. So this system has been going on in India for the last 3,000 years. So it is a creation myth that brought more destruction than a hope. It's nothing but just a creation myth. So in India, people believe in 330 million gods and goddesses. And out of these gods and goddesses, there's one particular god called Brahma, means creator. So out of his body parts, 4 different castes or group of people came. The first group of people are the Brahmins. They came from the forehead of the god. They are the priests and the teachers. They say what is right, what is wrong in the matter of religion and the society. And they are the 5% of the whole Indian population, and they got all the privileges. And the second group of people called the Kshatriya, means kings and the warriors. They came from the shoulders of that god. And third one is Vaishya, means business community. They came from the belly of the god. And fourth one is Shudra, means working class. They came from the feet of that god. So these are the 4 group of people or caste people that came from different parts of that god called Brahma. But there's one more group of people called the untouchables, or the other name it was given to them is Dalits, the untouchable people. So they are not from any part of that God, so they are called the outcast people. You are not part of our God, so you are outcast people. And there are more than 300 million Dalit people in India out of 1.4 billion population. And there are more than 120 different kinds of discriminations against the Dalit people, the untouchable people. They are the slave people. They are segregated. They are dehumanized. They are oppressed, and they are discriminated. Many people don't know that there is more slavery in this world than at the time when the William Wilberforce fought against this transatlantic slave trade. It is mostly connected to the slavery in India for the Dalit people, among the Dalit people. So some of the discriminations are, I'm a Dalit in India as per the caste system. And we have to live outside the village in a separate settlement. Still in the 21st century, if you come to India, you still see Dalit people, the untouchable people living outside the village, not in the main village. And Dalit children are denied education or made to sit back in the classrooms, and they are prohibited from entering into Hindu temples, and they are prohibited from getting the water from the village wells. And they have to have their own separate segregated places to live on. So it is very, very hard to live in India as a Dalit, as an untouchable. Wherever we go, the untouchability follows us. It's very hard to come up in the life in India as a Dalit. And I want to tell you a few truths about the Dalit people. And there are a lot of discriminations, as I said, a lot of persecutions against the Dalit people. Every hour, 2 Dalits are assaulted in India. Every 1 hour. And every 18 minutes, a crime is committed against a Dalit person. Every 18 minutes in India. And every day, 2 Dalits are murdered and 2 Dalit homes are burned in India. And 80% of the Dalits, the untouchable people, live in the rural areas, in the countryside. And more than 80% of them are still in the poor. And there is a literacy rate among the Dalit people in very highly educated communities, 37%. Mostly, in many cases, it's below 10%. So this is the reality of the Dalit people. But the good news is, in India, majority of the Christians are the Dalit people. Because when we are not allowed to enter into Hindu temples, when we are not treated as an equal human beings in India, by our own people, Jesus came to us through Western missionaries, mostly from the US missionaries, and he touched us with his love. Wherever the missionaries went, they did the right thing, the morally courageous thing, reaching out to the people who are cast out, reaching out to the people who are oppressed, reaching out to the people who are persecuted, reaching out to the people who are discriminated. So because of that reason, we, the Dalit people, are the most majority of the Christians in India. And because of that reason, Jesus is branded as the untouchable people God in India. Jesus is branded as the poor people God in India. Out of 300 million people, we are the most majority of the Dalits, poor people in India. So it's very, very hard to live in India as a Dalit. I was born into that caste. And when I was 13 years old child, in my own village, I was stopped not to enter into the Hindu temples in my own village because I'm a Dalit. It's very, very hard to live in India. And I was born into a Christian family, as I said. As a kid, I was very good at going to the church with my mother. But as I was growing, my thinking towards God changed. There were 2 reasons for that. One was, in my school, our science teacher taught about the Darwin evolutionary theory, which says man came from monkey. But whereas, as a Christian child, I went to the church, I heard a lot of pastors preaching about love of God. And many pastors preaching about the creation story, that God created man out of dust. But my science teacher theory was contradicted to the Bible theory. But my science teacher really brainwashed us to believe that science was more powerful than the Bible. So I started to believe that theory. But there is another reason that made me very, very angry with the God. I was born in a Christian family. And I had a lot of messages from the pastors and believers, from my mother, praying for the blessings. When I say blessings, having 3 meals a day is a blessing. Having a place to live is a blessing. For children, having a clothes and books, uniform is a blessing. I can see those blessings in my family, Christian family, and also the surrounding Christian families who are the Dalit people. More than 80% of Indian Christians are the Dalit people who are known for the poverty. So if God was real, where are those blessings? If God was real, why Christians are suffering in India without the food, without the books, without a shelter? So I started to think all this Christian thing, religious thing was just rubbish. So in my college days, I went to be an atheist. I became an atheist. In my college, I became a communist. In India, Communist Party is the 3rd biggest national party. They fight for the equality mostly. They mostly fight for the social justice. It's different to Chinese communism and Russian communism. So it was easy for me to be attracted to that, social justice. So I became a communist and I did a lot of activities as a communist leader. If you saw me 20 years ago, you wouldn't believe that I would hold a Bible in my life. I used to argue with the people, where is your God when we're starving? Where are those blessings that the Bible talks about? Why Christians are known for the poverty? If God created all the human beings, why some are good, some are, very bad? So that was my biggest question. My name is Elisha, it's a prophet. Elisha from the Bible, my mother gave me that name. I didn't like this name because it's a Christian name. If I say my name in India, if I go to other places, they would recognize me, I'm a Christian. And also, once they know I'm a Christian, they also will come to know I'm a Dalit. So it's very, very strong. So I wanted to change my name from Elisha to Rolex, the watch company name. I don't know where I read it, but I somehow liked it. If I had $25 in those days, I would have changed my name. That much I hated Christianity. I never believed I would hold a Bible in my life. But in 2002 on Christmas Day, one of my friends invited me to come to the church. Actually, I was not interested. Just to make my friend happy, I went to the church. When I went to the church, the pastor was speaking about love of God. What made God to send his son Jesus to the earth and why he has to come and die on the cross of Calvary. His message was entirely on the love of God, which is something different. He said there are some people in this church who don't believe Bible and God, because I was thinking I was that person who was not believing the God. I thought he was talking about me. And he quoted from scripture from the Ezekiel 2nd chapter 1st verse. It says, "Son of man, stand up on your feet, I will speak to you." It came and touched my heart. I felt not the pastor was speaking, but someone was speaking to me. I could clearly sense that. After the service finished, I went to the pastor. I said, that message was something different. He touched me. And he said, God was speaking to you. Then I put my biggest question, why God created poverty. Bible says nothing was created out of him. So my thinking was God is the one who created the poverty. My thinking was God is the one who created this inhumane caste system. But my pastor really clarified to me that God is not the one who created the caste system. It was created by some human beings for their own benefits. And he also said that in the first creation, there is no poverty in his creation, in Garden of Eden. But because of man's sin, all these things came into the world. And he showed me a lot of scriptures like James 1:26, where it says God's heart for the orphans and poor and the widows and the needy. And after talking to him for more than 1 hour, I was enough able to trust that my thinking towards God was wrong. So actually, I accepted him as my Lord and personal Savior. So on that day, I became a born-again believer. And after that, I asked God, what do you want me to do for you? Then God gave me the vision to start a children home in India. 2 things I hated in my life. One is children, second one is dogs. I didn't like both of them. To be with the children for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's okay, I could do that. But not to be with the children 24/7. Though I was raised in an orphanage, I didn't have any intention to start a children home. But God really told me, I put you in that place. I allowed you to go through all the experiences you've been through to know the suffering and the pain of the children. And by trusting the Lord on August 1st in 2006, we started the children home in our own house. I was 25 years old at that time, but I was depending on my parents for my food. But I strongly felt and convicted 100%, there was no single doubt in my heart, that's what God was asking me to do it. So we opened our own home because we didn't have any place in this world. The only home we had is a 2-room building. Each room is 3 by 4 meters, 3 by 4 meters. So we allowed our one room for the God's work. So we started with 1 child, and since then God has been very, very faithful and has been doing wonderful things. So I would like to go through some slide shows, and I would like to explain. So pictures tells more. So if Brian, if you can, somebody can just press that.
Yeah. Just hit the play button.
Yeah. The next one, because it is this.
Spacebar.
Yeah, next please. Oh yes, that's it. So in our children's home, we don't like to call the orphanage. It's not a good word, so we call the light home, a home for the hope and a better future. We started with 1 child. Now we have 115 children in our children's home. We give them food, shelter, clothing, education, medical supplies, and the gospel. I'm not the social worker in India. I'm the God's worker. Everything we do, we include the gospel. It's very, very important to us. So we give them food, education, everything. And we have 115 children. And next, please. And we also run an English medium school. In India, we have 12 national languages and 1,600 plus dialogues and dialects and languages that people speak. 1,600 plus. So if you come to India, if you go to one state and if you travel another 100, 200 kilometers, the language changes, the culture, everything changes. So it's very hard. So Indian modern economy is dependent on the English language education. For the Dalit people, for the untouchable people, for our people, it's very hard to get the English medium education because it's expensive education, English medium education. So there's a big business with English medium education. So our children, our people remain poor. So that's why we started this English medium school to educate our children in the English medium school. Next, please. Yes, so that's our children's home. This is our school. We have 340 children in the school. So it's called the Light English Medium High School. Next, please. And this is our church. We also have a church in our campus for the children. As I said, every day we have the prayer except the Saturday. Next, please. And this is in the school. When I was a child, all my school days I sat on the floor. We wanted to give our children a better learning experience. So we have the desks and the tables. It's a big blessing. Next, please. And we also do this another ministry called Feeding the Elderly People. We feed 23 elderly people with 2 meals a day, every day, lunch and dinner. Next, please. Yep. Next, please. And we also do the sewing machine training because I come from a village, so most of the people in India still live in the villages. So what happens is, because of this caste system, we are brainwashed for the last 3,000 years. If you're born poor, you die as a poor. If you're born as a Dalit, you die as a Dalit. There's no way you can escape it. So we are trapped into this, the slavery mentality, the slave mindset. We're born as a poor, we die as a poor. It's very, very hard to come up with that 3,000 years old theory. So we're training the women in the villages, in the sewing machine, so that we give them training and the sewing machine at the end of the course, 6 months course, so that they can have their own small business of stitching clothes for other people. So far we have trained more than 600 women. We gave sewing machines to all of them. Next, please. The treadle machines, not the electric ones. Yes, next, please. And we also help the leprosy people, 40 leprosy people with rice bags every month.
So they really have leprosy?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, still in India.
How long does it take to cure leprosy? Is there a cure or is it just in remission or what?
I mean, there is a cure. Nowadays, it's not the new patients rate is very, very low because of the Rotary Club and Lions Club. They did a wonderful job. So, yeah, it's very low. But these people got it in a long time ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Yes. Next, please.
You mean in that period of time they haven't gotten medicine?
At that time?
No, but since then. They're alive, they're 40, 50, they got it?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Have they lost their hands and fingers?
yes,
and all
they
that?
lost
Oh, God.
and feet also, toes. Next, please. You can see their hands. Yes, we also do the gospel crusades to reach out to the people with the gospel of Jesus Christ. So we conduct a lot of gospel crusades. Next, please. We also build the pastors' conferences. That's our church. So we invite the pastors and we encourage them on doing the God's work because it's very, very tough to do God's work in India. Mostly, particularly, in a time as this, it's very, very tough.
Why is it difficult?
Because of the government situation?
So the Hindus will not allow Christianity?
No. It's very, very tough.
Can you get to them by broadcasting? Like Radio Free Europe, Voice of America and so on? Do we have any broadcasts into India about Christ?
I mean, we have the TVs and all those things, but because the majority of the people are Hindu people, they don't want Jesus to be preached in India. They say we have one God and goddesses, why we need another God? Next, please. And we also build the churches in the rural communities where the believers are very poor. Our dream is to build 100 churches. So far, we have built 1 church. It's a good start, I think. Next, please. And we also manufacture handmade leather bags to raise funds for the ministry and to give employment to the women. So, and again, mostly work among the Dalit people. That's where my heart is, and that's where majority of the poor people in India are. Next, please. And right now, we are building a 10-bed multi-specialty hospital to save the moms and babies dying from the childbirth. In India, every day 5 women die during the childbirth. Every day 5 women. So it's very, very hard. Every hour 5 women die during the childbirth. So that is
They die doing what?
childbirth. When
Childbirth?
Childbirth, yeah.
Childbirth.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that is 17% of the total global death rate.
But we don't have that high here. Why is that?
Because there's no medical facilities, proper medical facilities.
So you don't have enough doctors.
Yes.
Okay.
So not many hospitals. So that's why we are building this 10-bed multi-specialty hospital to help the poor people, Dalit people, saving them, saving moms and babies. Next, please.
There's treatment available to other castes.
Yes, the caste. But there are very good hospitals, but they're compromising the quality of the medical care for the sake of profits. For the poor people, it's very hard to get into those medical facilities. There are government hospitals, but the quality of the medicine and the treatment is very, very poor. You go to the government hospital as the last chance to die. So it's very, very
They
sad.
have very bad doctors there, presumably, too.
Okay, yeah. Next, please.
What about birth control? If so many women are dying of birth, why is there birth control practice or not?
I mean, nowadays we have 2 children, or 2 or 3 children. Mostly they are not having more than 3 these days. Yeah, but because
the expense of everything.
yeah, and because of not having the medical care at that time of the need, they are not survive.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, please.
We somehow got.
Yes, you just please fix this. See this one.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, please this one, please.
Yeah, just hit that one.
Hit this one here? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, please. Next, please.
There you go.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. Next, please.
Can I ask you another question?
Yes.
Because I want to learn quickly. I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to know this. Everybody, the UN stresses that about the rights of all people, right?
Yep.
So why is India still practicing acknowledging people as untouchable,
Yep.
despite the UN Charter about
Yep.
everybody should be equal?
Yep.
We started out with slavery.
Yep.
We started out with women not having the right to vote.
Yep.
And we fixed those.
Yep.
But they won't fix the untouchables.
No. In India, as per the constitution, everyone is equal. But you have to know that constitution came into the power 70 years ago. But this caste system has been in India for the last 3,000 years. It's into the people's mind and the blood and in everything. It's very, very strong. So you have to know that.
It's normal.
Yeah, it's normal. Wherever you go, the untouchability, the caste system follows you. And it's very,
How do
very...
they tell what you are? Don't you all look the same? How do
We-
you tell
yes.
one untouchable from
Yes.
untouchables?
In India, most of the people live in the villages, and people are very community-oriented people in India. Everybody knows everybody business. So in my village,
If I'm untouchable, why would I not move to another part of India and pretend that I'm somebody else?
Yes.
And so why would I stay with people
Yes.
where I'm branded,
yeah. So what happens? Yes.
where I live?
Yes, yes. So most of the times people don't move, not like this, not like here. And the second thing is, even if I move to another city, all my certificates, tells me what caste I born into, because we have to mention we are getting the certificate what caste we born into. So there's no way we can escape from that. So people will come to know. And if somebody moves into that area, very soon people want to know which caste he belonged to. It's
Does
very,
the founder of Hindu, was that a practice of establishing thousands of years ago, whenever that certain people are untouchable? I can't touch this guy. I can't get anywhere near him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's untouchable. This guy too.
I tell you,
So where did this come from? This is Hindu, this is the Hindu religion?
Hindu religion. I tell you, previous president of India was a Dalit. President of India. But in India, mostly government is run by the Prime Minister. So previous
Like
president,
Nehru.
yes, president.
So I have regard for Gandhi and Nehru and all these people, but they didn't see any problem with that.
No, there is still, I mean, if you go back to the history, there's a lot of things. So I will tell you one thing. The previous president of India was a Dalit. He was stopped by the Hindu priest when he went to the Hindu temple as the president of India. With all his entourage security and all this jet plus security, he went there, but the Hindu priests and people said, we don't allow you into the Hindu temple. Though you are a president of India, but you are still a Dalit, we don't allow you. Just Google it.
Let's continue with that in any of these discussions.
Yes, yeah. You can ask me questions later next. And last, please, the previous one, please.
I don't know how to go back.
Other one?
Let me see.
I will do that. Excuse me. Yeah. Yes. So as I said, we are building this 10-bed multi-specialty hospital to save the moms and babies dying during the childbirth. So we bought the land and we started this construction. Right now, we just finished the two sides boundary wall, and we took all the government permissions to build the hospital. And my father, when I was a child, my father spent in the hospital for 3 months. He had some serious health issue, and it was very, very hard for our family to take care of my father. It was just $60, the whole operation, and for 3 months staying in the hospital. We didn't have that money. It was very, very hard for our family. So, and there are a lot of people who suffer because of poverty. And mostly, one thing is we have to know that when people are sick, when people are in the hospital bed, they truly, genuinely seek the Lord. And more people walked through the hospital doors than the church building doors in the world. So we want to use this as a tool to reach out to the more people with the love of Christ. And we want to show the God's healing power. And God has told us very clearly, the hospital is not going to be the healing place, it's a treatment place. And I'm the one who is going to heal them. He told us to put, we treat, God heals, the big sign on the hospital. So right now we are praying and we are seeking donations and partnerships to build this hospital. And next please. And that's my family, my wife and 2 children. My children are studying, my daughter is studying year 9, my son is studying year 7 now. So, and I have written a book. It tells my autobiography, and because of the time I'm not able to share more, but this book tells everything about the Dalit people, the untouchable people, and what God is doing in India. Whatever you saw, everything is done by the God. I'm just somehow part of it. It's not me doing it, God doing it. Somehow I'm just part of it. And I would strongly encourage you to get this book. It's a wonderful book. And we also have some brochures about the hospital project. And if you know anyone who is interested in the work in India, please refer us to your friend and the family. And we love to have you in India. We welcome visitors. So we say no worries, only rice and curries. Rice and curries. We give rice and curries in India mostly, but it's a wonderful place to be, and you will enjoy it. We will make you right at home. And another thing is, we send weekly newsletters to the friends to keep them updated about what's happening in India. If you would like to know more of what God is doing in India, please give me your email ID. We will keep, thank you. We will keep you updated with what's happening. And one more thing is, I am here for the next another 4 weeks. I'm looking for the opportunities to share what God is doing in India. And once again, thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And once again, thank you so much. And may God bless you, your families, and may God speak to you. Yes.
Thank you.